Okay, guys, it's awesome to be with you on this wonderful Monday morning. We finally caught some cooler temperatures here in Utah, which has been awesome. Except we've been liking going to the lake. I don't know about you guys, and it's been nice to have 100-degree temperatures and 75-degree water temperatures. So anyway, hey, we are excited. Number one, summit tomorrow in Utah. We've got, of course, the panel going on. So those of you on the call from Utah, make sure that you are participating in the panel tomorrow. It's going to be a really good event and some great information. And yeah, so I've got a few things today that I want to go over that I think are just critical. It's a message. I used to share these items all the time and haven't talked as much about them recently. And I know some of that deals with the fact that things in the market had been easy, may not be the right word, but easier, right? Things were happening fast and furious, and a lot of good stuff. And it seemed like, boy, the getting was good. And I know right now that, look, things are still awesome and people are still killing it. But as things shift and continue to shift, I think it's essential that there's a few things that you are implementing into your business on a daily or a weekly basis to just absolutely ensure that you're getting the results you need. So that's what I want to talk about today. I've actually got 6 items that I'm going to share with you. They're very quick too, but 6 things that I believe you can implement in your business immediately and start seeing great things happen. Let me grab my list here. So if you have a pen and paper out, please pull that out. I'm going to just share the items and then give a little piece of info. And if anyone has questions or anything, you are welcome to raise your hand, interrupt, or ask a question in the comments, and we'll get rolling. So 6 things that you should be implementing into your business each and every week, every day, whatever that looks like with these things, but just ensuring that these items are part of your routine. So number 1, very important. This should be the focus of your daily existence. Why you show up to the office every day should be that you are to set one appointment each day. I know for me personally in my business, I tried to focus on everything you can imagine, whether it was how many hours a day am I prospecting, how many contacts am I making. I remember actually going to Walmart sometimes in the evening just to complete my goal of talking to people about real estate. And that was the quickest, fastest way I could just happen to bump into conversations with people and talk real estate really quickly. Now, look, I'll give myself credit for actually doing that, but the focus that I was having was on communicating with people and not setting an appointment. And what I found over the years is when I focus on setting an appointment, the quality of my conversation increases. Think about that. When you focus on setting an appointment, what does the language look like in that conversation? What do the questions look like? What does the, I would say your effort, what does your effort look like in that conversation when you're actually trying to set an appointment versus just check a box and say, I spoke with someone? Ask yourself, what does that look like in your business right now? Are you talking with people with the intention of setting an appointment, or are you talking with people with the intention of having talked to someone? And I know that sounds silly because, look, at the end of the day, you get credit mentally, emotionally, whatever it might be, for making the call, and you're doing something that a lot of people aren't willing to do. But I also know from personal experience that we as agents and lenders and title people, whatever it may be, we are okay sometimes. I'm going to use the word, and again, I only know this because I've done it, pretend working, right? You're showing up, you're dressed nice, you're doing all of that, but are you actually doing what you need to do? Or this is the same thing with going on an unqualified appointment, for example, is you're doing something and almost make believing that you're working, when in all actuality, we're wasting our time sometimes. And again, you may not do this. I know that I've done it. And so my challenge to you today is focus on setting one appointment each day. As you do that, you're going to be talking to more people. You're going to be having more quality conversations. And look, the math is insane on this. I'll just do it for you again if you haven't done it in a while. One appointment per day times 5 appointments per week multiplied by, and this is my favorite part, what if you only did it for 42 weeks in a year? That means you had 2.5 months of vacation, right? 42, that would be 210 set appointments. If you set 210 appointments and were only able to attend half of them, it would be more if you're doing a good job, but let's just say, being very conservative, that's 105 appointments that you actually attended with people. And if you went on 105 appointments and you were able to take 75% of those contracts, you would have taken 79 contracts. And if you took 79 contracts, whether that's 50 listings and 29 buyers or 29 listings and 50 buyers, however that works, let's just say you sold half of those, okay? That would be 40 transactions per year, rounding up, of course. The one time, I'm not being conservative on this, I'm rounding up. Guys, it sounds crazy, but if you want 40 extra transactions with ease, set one appointment 10.5 months of the year. No joke. It sounds crazy, but those numbers don't lie. So be considerate of that. So very important. Get yourselves focused each week on one appointment every day. Second step in this, and works really well, if you're focused on setting one appointment daily, you're virtually assured to be able to take one new contract every single week. So your opportunity to take one new contract every week is so important. So I don't care if it's a buyer, if it's a seller, whatever that looks like. One of your goals and your objectives should be that every single week you're going to get a new contract signed for either a listing or a buyer. Why is this so important? My goodness, think about how you're filling your pipeline. I love this idea that you are prospecting, presenting, and closing. And you have kind of these 3 pools of people that you're prospecting to, people that you're presenting to, and people that you're closing. And as you look at that, it's so important that you have individuals that you're taking contracts from. And so I think I've shared this before, but I'll never forget the time that my coach in the beginning of my real estate career, George Morris, asked me and Dave Parker the question, how many listings will you put under contract this week? And Dave and I looked at each other like George was crazy. Like, what kind of stupid question is that? How can I control how many listings I'm going to put under contract this week? I even remember I probably said out loud something stupid like, however many go under contract this week. And look, what I didn't understand at the time was that there's this element of control that I had in the world of creating business. I didn't get that at that moment. And that was a turning point for me to realize I can control how many listings I take. I can control how many listings I put under contract. It's something that was within my power, within my grasp. And look, this is an hour-long conversation in and of itself, but I challenge you to remember that it is something that you are in control of, and to get yourself focused on the idea that you are going to do your best to take one contract each week. Okay, moving on. Number 3, participate in some meeting every single week. I don't care what that looks like. Look, Century 21 is providing you literally every single day some type of opportunity to participate in something of educational, motivation, training, whatever it might be. And I believe it's absolutely essential to your business, to your mindset, to your growth, to be committed to participate in something every single week. And look, I am preaching to the choir because you're all participating right now. But I challenge you to make sure that your commitment stays strong with that. And if you can participate in something in person, even better. An opportunity to be live and in a room where you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to be present. Or even on a Zoom call like this, I see Aaron Clark's doing it, is be present, meaning your camera is turned on. I mean, ask yourself this question, and no pressure, Aaron, if you need to turn it off at some point. But I'm just throwing it out there because it's important to remember, you guys. Are you more present and engaged in a meeting when your camera is turned on? Thank you, Carla, for a second. Are you more present and engaged when your camera is turned on, or are you less? There you go, Brenda. I love it, guys. I'm just telling you and challenging you. Get on there and get yourself present in the meeting because you know it will make a difference. Yeah, it's awesome. You guys are fun. I'm glad to see you doing that. Okay, so number 1, I'm just going to repeat. Set 1 appointment daily. Number 2, take 1 contract weekly. Number 3, attend something in person weekly. Participate weekly. Okay, number 4, this is a big one. Speak with all of your clients weekly. This one to me is a game changer. And I want you to think about what that means. I know I might say that out loud, and some of you might go, duh. And in some ways, I bet you're thinking that it just happens naturally that you speak with your clients weekly. I promise you don't, and I promise it's not. It takes effort. And I think that if I look over the years, I take a lot of complaint calls for Century 21 Everest. A lot of those land on my desk. They're not about me, thank goodness, but they're about our wonderful agents. And if I was to, go down the list of what's the cause of these, usually 9.5 out of 10 times it comes down to poor communication. And so make a commitment to yourself that you will, on a weekly basis, have some type of conversation with each client. In fact, I would challenge you to commit to them that is part of your business strategy, and that is part of what makes you a great agent, is that you're going to communicate with them weekly. Look, they know as well as you do, even if they haven't had any poor experiences with agents, they know communication's a big deal and a buzzword for problems that have gone on. So get yourselves committed to the idea that you're going to do that. So when I was selling real estate full time, what I would do is I would commit to my clients and say, this is a very important part of this process, that we're communicating weekly and that we're having these conversations. Excuse me. And so I would talk to them about when's the best day, what's the thing, so that at minimum, I was ensuring that we were having this conversation. One of the things that worked out really well in doing this was when it came time for, and this is going to be actually number 5, is price reductions. And I put every 10 to 14 days, but all listings need a price reductions at minimum every 10 to 14 days. Look, we're not in a position to have us raise our hands, but have you ever gone 10, 14 days, 20 days without having a conversation with a client? I mean, I know for some of you that's probably never happened. I'll be the guy that admits that, yeah, early in my career, that was an issue. And when the market was tough and you had listings that you were thinking could sell in maybe 4 months or something like that, there were times when you'd go a couple weeks without even talking if there wasn't a showing that was requested. And I didn't know what more I needed to do. And so what's great about this is if you are committed to having a conversation with your client each and every week, from a seller standpoint, it keeps you in the driver's seat, and it keeps you guys being thoughtful and creative about how you're going to get the home sold. It keeps you on track with constant communication about what adjustments need to be made. So if you're looking at a listing, one of the things you're going to be doing is talking about, hey, what efforts have you made to get the home sold? What's happening in the market? What's happening with your showings? What's happening with your feedback? And then, of course, your recommendations. Have that conversation with your clients each week. It'll come as no surprise when you're saying, hey, it's time to do a price reduction, rather than uncomfortable conversations about, Well, why aren't you holding open houses? Why aren't you doing A, B, C, or D? Instead, you're having the conversation every week. There's nothing to hide and nowhere to hide. Okay, so, and then from a buyer standpoint, look, you're just keeping the ball rolling with them. This is important for lenders. It's important for the buyer agents. When you're helping a buyer, you're just keeping the ball rolling with them, finding out how's the process, what are you seeing? You're re-examining and resetting expectations based on what might be happening in the market, based on their search criteria. You're constantly communicating about what's available, when are you going to see that next house, how are things looking with the loan, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you're communicating on a weekly basis. Okay, one other note I'd add to that, this doesn't end when you're under contract. I know there's always sometimes a little bit of a lull period that happens maybe from the time an inspection's done to the time of closing and stuff. Make sure that you're constantly asking yourself, how might my client be feeling right now? What questions might they be having? What can I do to help them? Okay, so speak with your clients weekly at minimum. Okay, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Last one, essential to everyone's business. And these are all things, guys, you can implement immediately, but this is critical. Work your sphere of influence. Okay, make sure you actually have a plan in place, a strategy, a philosophy, an approach that you're taking to communicating with your family, friends, associates, neighbors, people you went to school with, whatever it might be. What are you doing to help move the needle for them and keep you first and foremost in their thoughts for real estate? So, excuse me, if it's been a while for you since you've done anything, my first recommendation, couple quick things. Make sure you have a CRM set up. And in the CRM that you have all of the names of the people who you believe would refer you. And then most importantly, I'd say you take your top 50 or your top 100 and say, these are the top 100 people that would refer a real estate transaction to me. I think that is so important. And I love to use the example here. Our old principal broker, who I love, or the old Matt Barton, whose wife Nancy Barton works for our company still, and son Mason Barton works for our company still. It's kind of an interesting thing when you look at and their daughter works for the company as well. Duh. So the reason I'm bringing that up is there's 4 people in that family that sell real estate. And I would guess if I told them to make a list of their top 50 closest people in the world to them, they would all make each other's list, right? But if I said, who are the top 50 people that would refer a real estate transaction to you, they likely wouldn't make each other's list. Make sense? Hopefully what you're gathering from that is just because someone's very, very, very close to you doesn't necessarily mean they're in the top 50 list of people who will refer a real estate transaction to you. Be thinking about who are the top people who are the people maybe you need to get closer to because they have a big mouth and they might talk a little bit more to people and be involved in people's business and might refer you, right? Be thinking about that. Connecting with those individuals. It's a business. Make sure you're communicating that and asking for that. So what is your philosophy? Who's in your top 50, top 100? And then what is your game plan? I know people get very uptight, very nervous about how they're approaching their sphere of influence. At very minimum, what I'd say is you have the ability, and I'm sure the willingness, to communicate to someone that you are available if they need you, right? Are you willing to just notify people that you're willing to do that? And my belief is that the answer for most of you is going to be yes, I'm willing to notify people. Cool. So start with that. Make sure you're notifying people. Another fun thing I've done over the years, again, these are just things like if you haven't done anything in a while or you're looking for something fresh, Facebook Messenger. Look, think how many people are on Facebook every day putting new photos and pictures, messages, whatever. Sending a message through to those individuals and just saying, hey, Saw your photo. Family looks great. It's been a long time. How are you doing? What's new for you? So an agent and I did this, and I challenged them to send that to 10 people. And the results were that they got 8 responses, and 8 out of 8 people asked the question, what's happening in your life? What's new for you? What are you doing for work? Are you still working in real estate? Those were the type of questions that were being asked. So again, my belief is that, look, in the world of real estate, lending, and all that good stuff, that we are entrepreneurs. And I believe that entrepreneurs want to make connections with people, that entrepreneurs want to be a difference maker in people's lives. And so because of that, I believe that you have a real intent of connecting with people. And so you don't have to feel like this is some farce or something that you're like, oh, I'm going to connect with them without intent. Of course you want to connect with people. Find out how they're doing, see how they are. And then, of course, they're going to ask you back. And in the event that they do, you're able to say, yes, I'm working in real estate. Keep me in the loop should you need anything. Crazy. Have you guys ever, you could get so bold as to say, let me know if you have any needs in real estate, or do you know anyone, right? We're going down, there's kind of this, I guess you would say, spectrum of questions that you could ask. And if you got really aggressive, right, it would be someone that says, hey, who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate that I can reach out to, right? That's the most aggressive that you could be, and people get really awkward and weird thinking that that's all they have to do. But if you go to the other end of the spectrum, where it's a little more light, it is as simple as just saying, yes, I'm loving selling real estate and I'm having a great time doing it. Let me know if you or anyone you know ever needs any help. Easier to do, and a lot less aggressive, and not going to offend anybody. So guys, those are the 6 items that I wanted to focus on today. Setting an appointment daily, taking a contract weekly, attending some type of training that you're participating in weekly, speaking with all of your clients weekly, taking price reductions every 10 to 14 days, and working your sphere of influence. These are 6 items that you can hit hard right now and will make a difference in your business. So unless there's any questions, you can raise your hand, or I don't know if we have any chat things going on. It doesn't look like it. I'll give it 5 seconds here. But otherwise, guys, it was awesome to be with you. Implement these things into your business. You can do it today. Commit, and you'll see awesome things happening. So guys, it's been great to be with you. Try to keep it short and sweet. Go out and have an awesome Monday and make this a great week. Thanks, guys.